Hey folks, Common Sense here, coming to you from the outside studio today. I was talking to a buddy of mine earlier today, and he asked me if I was going to do a video on what happened to the light rail. As some of you know, I'm in the Charlotte area, and what happened to the light rail a couple weeks ago is kind of finally come to the fore. The news has been pretty much ignoring it for weeks in hopes it'll go away. Um, I'm not going to really talk about the complete incompetence of the Charlotte leadership as to like addressing the situation. I'd rather kind of talk about the whys. One of the things that keeps coming up is why didn't anyone do anything about it? Well, all right, so we're going to start with the practical and then we're going to go out to the psychological. So, from a practical perspective, anyone who's trained with what is called the 21-foot rule, and it's basically the idea that from 21 feet away, I can stab you before you can pull a gun. And I've done it many, many times. Now, I'm a giant, and so I take up ground very, very quickly, but I've seen shorter people do it. The reality is, knife in a gunfight, Mythbusters even covered it a couple of years ago. 21 feet, I can get to you before you can address the problem. So that's one. Two, if you've got your earbuds on and you're zoned out, you don't hear the person standing up behind you. You don't look what's going on around you. I'm not trying to victim blame, but the reality is we're all in our own little world. And in public places you just can't do it. You just can't do it. I tell my daughter all the time, you cannot be zoned out in a public place with other people around you. The only thing that would have saved that woman is situational awareness or gut feeling or instinct to not sit there. And unfortunately, she did not have that gut feeling. Now we're going to move into the psychological. Um, we've been trained over the last decade, but decade really, going further back than that, that the idea of having a bad feeling about someone of a particular race or color or creed is an immediate red flag, and it brands you as a horrible human being. Which is ridiculous, because the reality is bad people come in all shapes and sizes, sexes, gender identities, and everything in between. And you should absolutely ignore that bullshit and trust your gut. Now, is that to say that you should judge everyone based on a immutable characteristics? No. What I'm saying is you go back to Martin Luther King's ideal of judge people by the content of the character, not the color of their skin. But that goes for anyone under any circumstances. And if the content of someone's character is bad and they're giving off bad vibes and you're getting a weird feeling from them, don't buy into this bullshit that you somehow need to like sit there just because their feelings might be hurt or they might feel a microaggression or any of this other bullshit. No, no, no. Trust your gut. The number of times that people say, I felt like something was wrong just before they wound up in the hospital or dead it's 85-90%. Trust those feelings. This is the best advice I can give you. Is the advice I give my daughter. Go live your life, enjoy yourself, be a kid, but if something feels wrong, get the fuck out of there. Best advice I can give you. Now, a lot of people are asking in hindsight, the Monday morning quarterbacks are saying, why didn't someone do something? Okay, well, New York just prosecuted and destroyed someone's life and threatened them with 30 years in jail because they interceded. Daniel Penny protected the people around him, and look what it did for him. Whoever that they are, they don't want you independently acting in your own defense. They want to, even the light rail is a gun-free zone, which is hilarious in North Carolina, where like easily half the people walk around armed every day. I've struggled with this myself. to carry, not to carry, when not to carry. Um, and I really struggle with the idea that there might be a circumstance where if I had a gun, or but didn't on that particular day, that I could have, with my training, protected people and prevented deaths. Man, that just, the idea of not being able to do that on that moment haunts me. Um, but even then, we all get lazy, we all get complacent, we all, me too, me too. So we don't have state medical facilities anymore. We were just up in Maine, and we passed by what was clearly a state mental institution. And my daughter's like, "Oh, I wonder what college that is." I'm like, "No, kiddo, that's a state hospital," but it was closed, and they're all closed. In Charlotte, the judge involved hadn't passed the bar, is my understanding, and B was the director of a halfway house where she kept sentencing these people to go. So she was profiting from um, the leniency, which is disgusting. It should never happen, and she should, at the very least, she should be impeached and taken off the bench. That's insane, but it's not uncommon. And the reality is, parents who have uh, insane children have two choices in our society. Send them to prison where they're not going to get help and they're also going to get even worse. Um, or try to find them the best available help that you can, or just leave them on the streets to fend for themselves and to interact with the greater population. Those are the two choices we currently have. We've got to figure out a third, but those are the choices right now. So, I'm making this video just after finding out that Charlie Kirk has died from assassination. We're getting to the point where we can't express alternative viewpoints without running the risk of having someone shoot us. And it doesn't matter whether you're President of the United States or Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk looked like he had great security every time I'd seen any of his videos. But he was out there doing things, and I've said before, my wife is much more liberal than I am, but she's like, he just talked to people. He would talk to anyone. He was always respectful. I don't know. It's getting to be a little bit scary out there, but I don't want you. I've always lived by the mantra: live prepared, not afraid. I want you to go live your lives. I just want you to stop ignoring the voice inside you that will protect you, because society says that listening to that voice is racist or xenophobic or uh, whatever. Just stop listening to the noise and listen to yourself. Trust your own judgment, and don't be afraid to be embarrassed. If something feels wrong, get the fuck out of there immediately. Do not wait for, oh, I was just being paranoid. No, leave. If you have the ability to carry, carry. Um, I'm hoping we can get through this without violence, but every day that goes on, it feels less and less likely. So you need to protect you and yours, and you need to trust your gut now more than ever. So, Common Sense signing off.